Welcome back to AskAPop. Today we're talking about choices. Some separate and some bring us together. You choose. Now, do y'all remember the good old days when we could all complain about a single cable bill? For you young folks, that's like streaming services just with one service. Heck, I remember back when we had 3 channels. Well, 4 if you count the one I'd have to go up and whack the side of the TV to get it to work. And it was always fuzzy. And we still only had nothing to watch on TV, even if it got to working with the 3 or 4 channels. Okay, old man rant over, and you're probably wondering, A, where's the heck is the remote anyway? And B, what does a picture of a Roku and a picture of the Song of Zechariah in a different language doing in the same post? And do we really need to call up Tony to find out if Cease is having a stroke? Well, the answer to A is probably in your seat cushion, because that's where ours always ends up. And B, that answer's coming up, and no, I don't smell burnt toast. You see, the choices matter, some more than others. TV less and less nowadays, but there's a lot of different denominations and churches out there, and like our buddy Paul was saying when he was having his tiff with the Corinthians, be careful about splitting hairs and pointing out little things, because it's really the big things that matter. Does that mean that all churches are perfect and all churches are great? Nope. But at the same time, that doesn't mean that all people that go to certain churches are great and other people that go to certain churches are bad either. Or that you get to decide what churches are great and what churches are bad. The beauty of Christianity is that we have a personal relationship with Christ. So you should exercise that freely and regularly to make sure that how we worship makes him happy. What works for you might not be the best for somebody else. And that's okay. One of the biggest eye-opening experiences I ever had in my life was when I visited the Holy Land. First, it's a Presbyterian group, and the only reason I bring that up is, by definition, that means we're Protestant. We were guided for 2 weeks by one of the most spiritual men I ever knew. And he was a Catholic, and he was just as faithful and loves Christ just as much as we do. And he had just as much of a relationship with Christ as I do. And during that trip, we visited the tomb of Samuel, where there were 3 active churches there: a mosque, a synagogue, and a church. It's a Catholic church. And all of them were active. And guess what? They all got along. All the powerful moments I had on the trip, I was asked to give a testimonial when we got back a few weeks later. Guess what I wrote about? The tomb of Samuel. That, just saying. Now, the Bible verses today are 1 Corinthians 1:10 through 17, and Luke 10:25 through 37 about the Good Samaritan. Questions. How do you feel about different denominations? No judgments, just reflections. And do you have friends from different denominations? And if so, do you share the differences and embrace them? Again, no judgments, just kind of reflections on these. God bless you. Have a great day.